He arrives in lines of hundreds of limos with thousands of Russian people and army men riding in behind him. You see giant Russian flags waving in the air, and they bring with them enormous numbers of possessions and food and expensive jewelry. Out of the limos, they take out brand new iPads and laptops and iPhones, and they begin handing them out to you and the other people around you. So you guys can open your eyes now. Just take a second and think, what would you think about Vladimir Putin? What would you think about the Russian people? Yes.
They have a lot of money.
They have a lot of money, good.
They're pretty cool.
They're pretty cool dudes.
Like generous to give all the stuff out?
Yeah, they're very generous. Lots of money. Anything else? So this kind of encounter that we just talked about is similar to something we're going to talk about today. So I want to get your minds thinking about what you guys have learned the past 2 weeks about the African kingdoms. So find a neighbor next to you. I'm going to put on 1 minute on the timer and just turn and talk about everything that you guys have learned about the African kingdoms. Think about the politics, the plants and animals, the religion, things like that. Turn and talk for 1 minute, and then we're going to share out.
And also they have like tell stories. What I learned is that let's say there's those apps that have like that stuff that 2 more seconds.
Alright, so now I'm going to pick somebody from our class dojo to share with us and remind us what they learned. Alright, who's going to share with us? Alright, Miracle. They have a lot of rituals. Good, thank you for sharing. Can you remember any of them? No? Okay. You want to share?
They call them like masked in and do school. Ritual.
Oh, and then you can give her a point. So, yeah, whatever. Very good.
Alright, they have a lot of rituals. Good. I'm going to select one more person. Alright, Crystal. Can you share? I know you got something good. What do you remember about animals or plants or the religion? What? They have camels and what? To carry their salt. Good. Good. Okay. So now I want you guys to turn and talk again and get thinking about why do you think it's important that we learn about these African kingdoms? And why do you think it would be important to know about one of their most important emperors, Mansa Musa? So turn and talk. Why do you think we would want to know about him? Why is that important?
like good morning and afternoon, and like, and then you say hello, and then it's English, that's like a bad word, so like, then you would know that like something like this is like a good word like this. I'm sorry.
Think about how she started the lesson. Think about
Yeah, if you really want to know about property, because like maybe if you say something wrong that you didn't know, then like, he was the richest man.
He's one of the richest men. Good.
He was the richest man. He was like the richest person in the world for a while, and he had a whole bunch of palaces, big palaces, and a lot of servants. And I think we need to learn about him because he was a really powerful man.
Very good. We want to learn about who this powerful man was. Yes.
I think he gave to the poor, like how you said to imagine us, giving us like as captives. I think that really took a big role in what he did.
Very good. I like your thinking. Yeah, one more.
We know a lot about the USA, but people don't know about other countries.
Good. So we know about our own country and our own people, and maybe even a little bit about our own leader. But now we want to learn more about the people around us. See how maybe they do things differently, what life was like for them. So I want you guys to think about if we know if he's the richest man alive, what more do you guys want to know about him? What was he like as a powerful leader? So think about that as we go through this lesson today. So we're going to talk about one of the most well-known and well-influential kings in history, Mansa Musa. And so not only did he have a big impact on his own kingdom of Mali, but the surrounding regions around him. And so today we'll discover just why he was such an impactful leader, and kind of what makes a leader really influential and impactful. And we'll kind of analyze some documents and see what we can learn about him. So you guys are going to travel around in centers and look at documents around the classroom in centers and groups. And so before you guys go and do that on your own, we're going to talk about and look at a document together and see kind of what I expect you guys to do. And I'll also give you a paper that will kind of guide your thinking and help you to know what exactly questions I should be asking as I do this. So let's look up at the document camera. And we're going to take a look at this document. So when I'm looking at this, first, it's a picture, so I'm going to ask myself, what images do I see? What colors? What symbols, and what's important about this? Maybe I'll look at the caption. So I see that it's a map of the Mali Empire at its peak in 1337, after the reign of Mansa Musa. So it's after he reigned, so that's important. And then if I look up here at the key, sorry guys, this tells me the border of the Mali Empire at the end of Mansa Musa's reign. So I see, wow, that looks kind of big. And then I see these are the major trade routes indicated by the arrows. And I'm looking at that. And then I see the gold fields. And I see two big gold fields inside of this kingdom. And I might think, wow, they have a lot of gold, a lot of resource that is very valuable. That would explain maybe why they're an important nation or a wealthy nation. What else do you guys notice, or what could you think? When you see this, I want you to think, what do you notice? And then what does that tell me about Mansa Musa as a leader? What can I think about him as a leader? And then even I want you to go beyond that and think about how he could impact the people around him. And then in this document, in this last column, I want you guys to think about all the other leaders that you have learned about. Think about the other civilizations and kingdoms and empires like the Egyptians or the Chinese, and think about how Mansa Musa might compare to the leaders that you've talked about before. So if we look back at this document, what do you guys notice that I haven't mentioned? What do you guys notice?
There's a few rivers running through the territory.
Good, good. So in this thing, this is what you're gonna write, what you notice. So you could write down, I notice rivers in here. What else do you guys notice?
On that little tiny mini map up there, it looks like it's taking up a big part of Central Africa.
Good. We can see this, it kind of puts in perspective where in Africa it is, and it zooms in. I like that. What do you notice?
It shows like these little black dots, and they might be important.
Yeah, those black dots, what do you guys think that represents?
Cities.
Cities? Oh, that's okay. What were you gonna say?
You said something about the arrows being like trade points or something.
What do you guys think that could tell us about maybe the kingdom of Mali or Mansa Musa as a leader? What do you think them trading with the people around them, what could that tell us?
That he has maybe like a whole bunch of gold because he gets like he trades stuff for all the other stuff like black, trade that for gold.
Yeah, so they use their resources to trade with the people around them. I bet that makes them very important people, right?
Or he could be very persuasive.
Oh, good. To be very persuasive because people want what he has, right? I like your thinking. All right, so do you guys have any questions about what you're doing? So if you look around, over here, there's a document here, that's document A. Back here is document B. Over here is document C. And up here is D. I'm gonna call out groups. And the first group will go to A, and then B, C, and D. I'm gonna set up a timer for 4 minutes, so you'll have 4 minutes at each station. And so you and the people in your group will write down on this paper what you notice, some conclusions you can make about Mansa Musa as a leader and other connections you can make. And so when the 4-minute timer goes off, you'll go to the next one and rotate around. And then once you finish with that, go and sit with your group at a table, and then we'll talk about this. Do you guys have any questions about what we're doing or what my expectations are? No? Okay. So I'm going to call out the groups, and you guys can come up and get a sheet of paper and then go to your center and start talking, and I'll start the timer up here. When you hear it, you'll switch. So in my first group that's going to start at document A is going to be Rickley, Carol, Kyler, Valente, Dakota, and Daisy. So you guys can come up, get the paper right here, and start on document A. Work together. The next group is Tommy, Cassandra, Kyle, Robert, Rudy, Angelique, and Salome. The one starting at C is Francie, Crystal, Carol, not Carol, Miracle, Victor, and Genesis. And then the one up here is going to be Larry, Jay, Daniel, William, and Kylie. I'll be walking around with you guys if you need me.
No,
Oh. No, you're right. She's switched out all that.
So you guys have 4 minutes at this document.
Okay, here's the document. And there's extra copies. You want to spread them out? Yeah. Yeah, you can all get one. Yeah. Okay, we only got 4 minutes.
He has a sword. Oh, I noticed the terracotta sword.
Oh, it's okay. She's having a connection to something else. That's okay. So now write down the fact the things you observed in your journal on that record. Write down some of the things you're seeing.
There's some extra copies of this. You guys can read separately. Oh, do you have one? No? Okay, sorry. So here we see, what are we reading? What are we looking at?
The kingdom of Malay.
Kingdom of Mali. This tells us it's a description of Mansa Musa's visit to Cairo. You guys remember where that is? It is in Africa. It's in Egypt. It's the capital of Egypt. And so this is someone called Ari, who was visiting Cairo several years later after Mansa Musa came. And so this is what he's talking about, his encounter with Mansa Musa. Do you guys read about it independently and talk about it? And I'll come back. Okay?
I'm going to do a memorial on you. No. To be honest, Pharaoh Egypt was 500 slaves. Each slave carried a 6-pound plate of gold. With them were 100 camels carrying even more gold.
Some say that Mansa, give gold to strangers as he passed by. He filled the crowds and made a few lucky people rich.
What do you guys notice if you stop? What do you notice going on? Good. So that's something you want to write down. What do you think that could tell us about Mansa Musa? What else do you think that could tell us? About how he impacted other people. What do you think that could tell us about what other people might have thought about him?
Egypt?
Egypt? What do you think the Egyptians thought of him?
500 slaves.
Okay, so what do you notice in this document?
He's a very powerful king. Right? What this can tell you about him.
Or when you're drawing a camel. So write that down on your first one. Your second one. About Mansa Musa as a leader.
One of the first monarchs is
Alright guys, that's the timer, so you guys can switch to the next document.
Maybe you guys should have played around.
4 more minutes. Description.
From the beginning of my coming to stay in Egypt, I heard talk of the reliability of Sultan Musa on his program.
What's that behind him?
What do you think?
I think he's sitting in the chair.
What do you notice about his clothes or maybe even his posture? Like how is he standing?
He looks ready to fight or something.
Oh, he's like in Arabian, where they wear them.
Oh, they have like a head covering. What do you think that could tell you guys about who Mansa Musa was as a leader?
That he's very powerful.
Well, each one down. So document C, you notice in the document now, what does this tell you about him as a leader? How do you think he affected other people around?
Oh, he's wearing a turban. Right.
Each one. So what do you think? And then go back. Go back and read the document.
Yeah.
So what do you think
that could represent?
How did he affect other people around him?
And it looks
Or
kind of heavy.
Right? Is it
Looks heavy. Maybe it looks expensive.
Russ said it's like a golden I know words.
There's something like that.
If you were another empire or a leader and you saw Mansa Musa and all his army and all the men, what would you guys think?
I'd be like, if they're not, if they're trying to act when they saw that, I would be like, nope, bye. That's what I did. If I saw him, I would think that he.
Oh, I think gang is kind of.
Other leaders we studied, like we were talking about Musa.
Alright, good work, you guys.
Who was your pharaoh?
You guys notice in this document?
That there's like a lot more stuff than this and that. People have like lines everywhere, pictures. That one just has like regular. Yeah.
What is this a picture of?
European map. Where's African?
Good, that's a European map. What do you think that means? The Europeans made this?
That most people believe in or like praise him.
Most people have heard of him or praise him. Alright, switch to the next one. Keep going, you guys are doing awesome.